Tommy, Tommy, you have to eat. The can is right there. Just reach out and open it. We've been here for 4 days. We are dying.
No. If I open the can, the metal will click. If the metal clicks, the sound will touch the glass. And if the sound touches the glass, it will know we're still awake.
It already knows we're here. It chased us from the car, Tommy. Whatever was in those trees, it followed us up the mountain. Light the heater. The matches are right next to your hand.
You don't understand, Elias. It didn't chase us, it guided us. It wants to see what we do when the lights go out. Fire is a beacon. If we strike a match, we invite it inside. Elias, stop. Stop. It stopped moving. It's listening. Be still. Be hungry. Hungry is quiet. Full is loud. Don't breathe so heavy. It can hear your heart. It can hear my blood. I won't touch the food, I promise. I won't light the fire. Just don't let it look at me.
It's too late. You thought too loudly.
Fear is a slow infection. It rewrites your logic until starvation feels like safety and freezing in the dark becomes the only way to survive. What you just saw was a dramatization. But the horrific reality of what happened to the Yuba County Five is far worse than any fiction. How did 5 men end up trapped in a mountain cabin, surrounded by food they refused to eat, hiding from an unseen terror? To understand the tragedy, you have to understand the victims. They were known in their hometown as the Boys: Ted Weiher, Jack Madruga, Bill Sterling, Jack Hewitt, and Gary Mathias. Ranging in age from 24 to 32, all 5 men had mild intellectual disabilities or psychiatric conditions, but they were high functioning. They had jobs, they had loving families, and they had an unbreakable routine. On Friday, February 24th, 1978, that routine was shattered. The boys drove 50 miles from their homes in Yuba City to Chico, California, to watch a college basketball game. After the game, they stopped at a local market, bought Hostess pies and sodas, and got into Jack Madruga's turquoise Mercury Montego to drive home. It was 10 p.m. They were supposed to drive south down a straight, familiar highway back to the safety of their beds. They all had a basketball tournament of their own the next morning, something they had been incredibly excited about for weeks. Instead, they drove 70 miles in the exact opposite direction, straight up a treacherous, winding, unpaved mountain road into the freezing Plumas National Forest, a place none of them had ever been. When police found their car 4 days later, sitting at an elevation of 4,400 feet, the nightmare deepened. The vehicle wasn't stuck, it was perfectly intact. There were no dents, no scratches, and the undercarriage hadn't scraped a single rock. The police noted that whoever drove the car up that treacherous road in the dark did it with extreme caution and skill. The car had a quarter tank of gas. The tires were sitting in minor snow ruts. With a simple push from 5 healthy men, it could have been freed easily. The keys were gone, but the doors were unlocked, and one window was rolled down, letting the freezing air inside. Why would 5 men, dressed only in light jackets and sneakers, abandon a working, sheltered vehicle? There was one witness. A man named Joseph Schons had gotten his own car stuck on that mountain road earlier that evening. Suffering from a mild heart attack, he lay in his car with the engine running. Around 11:30 p.m., he saw headlights pull up behind him. He saw a group of men get out of the Mercury Montego. He called out for help, but the men didn't answer. According to Shons, they just stopped talking, turned off their headlights, and walked silently into the dense, pitch-black tree line, leaving him alone to die. He also reported seeing a woman holding a baby in the shadows nearby. To this day, no one knows who she was or what she was doing on an abandoned mountain road at midnight. The very next day, a massive blizzard hit the mountain, dumping nearly a foot of snow and halting all search efforts. For months, the families waited in agony. It wasn't until June, when the spring thaw finally melted the snowdrifts, that a group of hikers stumbled upon a dilapidated Forest Service trailer almost 20 miles away from where the car was abandoned. Inside that trailer, the mystery evolved into pure, incomprehensible horror. On a bed in the center of the room lay the body of Ted Weiher. He was wrapped tightly in 8 sheets, tucked in from head to toe. Just like in our story, he didn't die of exposure. He had starved to death. The cabin was a survival cache. It was fully stocked with enough dehydrated food and military rations to feed all 5 men for a year. There were matches, books to burn for warmth, heavy winter forestry coats, and a full propane heater outside. Aside from a few cans of food opened with a rock, the supplies were untouched. Ted had lost half his body weight, his feet were severely frostbitten, he had a lighter sitting right in his pocket, yet he lay there in the freezing dark, slowly starving over a period of 8 to 13 weeks, terrified to make a sound, terrified to strike a match, terrified of whatever was outside. But Ted wasn't the only one. Days later, searchers found the remains of Madruga and Sterling on the opposite side of the mountain road, deep in the snow. They found the bones of Jack Hewitt miles away in the brush. His jeans and shoes were resting nearby. But there was one final chilling twist. Gary Matthias, the 5th member of the group, was completely missing. The only trace of him was his shoes, left neatly inside the Forest Service trailer next to Ted's bed. Gary suffered from severe schizophrenia and had missed his medication. Did he suffer a psychotic break and chase his friends into the dark? Or was he too a victim of someone or something else? To walk 20 miles uphill in the snow in the dead of night, wearing nothing but light jackets and sneakers, you have to be running from something. The tragedy of the Yuba County Five isn't just that they died. It's the horrifying truth that whatever they met on that mountain was so terrifying, freezing to death in the dark seemed like their safest option.